hottest sports talk out there. And thank you so much for listening to us. We got a great show today. I'm super excited. We have two special guests. One, we have Willie Epting from the Shake Back Sports Show. And we also have Brittany Mollis from What B Said podcast. So I'm super excited to have these guests on today. I was not with you yesterday, took a little vacation to California, and now I am back in Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm super sad about the weather that's taking place right now. And just something happened. Just in case you didn't know, the Derek Chauvin verdict came back, and he is guilty on all counts. So hopefully there will be peace in the streets, and now we can move on to justice and let the justice system do what it needs to do in all aspects for other things. So welcome to my guests today. How are you guys doing today? So excited to have you on with me. Willie, let's start with you first. How you doing today?
What's going on, family? How's it going, Rachel? Thank you for having me.
I'm doing good. Thank you for being on here. I appreciate you. And Brittany, how are you doing?
I've waited a while to talk to you, Rachel. I'm very excited about this. Yes, the first woman in sports. That's how I know you. So I'm very excited.
Thank you. Well, it's been a long time I've been doing this, so I feel like the old lady now in sports.
No,
but,
no.
That's okay.
You are wise, okay? That's what you are.
Beyond my years. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. So excited to have you guys on today. So were you guys catch wind of the verdict already?
Yes. Just saw that.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes we do talk about, social justice issues. So what are you guys' thoughts on the verdict and what might take place now?
Ladies first, Brittany. By the way, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Sorry you can't see me. I just worked all day and I look like crap, so I have my face hidden.
That's okay.
Yeah, as far as the verdict that just came out, I actually just tweeted and I said, I love accountability. So today, people are saying justice and justice is justice, but I view this more as like an accountability thing. It's a first step in the right direction. There's still obviously so much work that needs to be done, but today was a small victory. Anytime these things happen, these people should be held accountable. And, hopefully now this will be the standard going forward.
So how many people got on you when you posted that? Because I know you guys are very, active when it comes to social justice and very vocal. Thank you for being allies. What was that response from your Twitter trolls regarding that?
Well, hopefully I have most of them blocked. My blocked list is up to probably 20,000 people.
Oh my
God. But it's mostly been very nice. Somebody got on, my co-host Bree. She tweeted something about, justice, and somebody said, this is a good day for me. I know who to block now. And I said, imagine getting mad at people on the internet for celebrating a murderer going to prison for murder. Imagine how backwards you have to be to make that your argument. I know this is a good day for me because now I know who to block. Sometimes I think these people are raised by wolves. Honest to God.
You know what? People have weird ways of saying how much they hate Black people. And that's one of the ways. There's a lot of weird ways about it, a lot of long drawn out ways in which the message is very obvious and very apparent and you're not hiding anything. I've done very good at scaling back on my Twitter, fights and stuff like that. And it's just an exhausting thing. I've been to Facebook jail 5 times. I'm a 5-time felon. So, it is, I am. And I walk out of Facebook jail. I'm tired of 30-day bids. I need my social media. And, I just realized that some people are never going to change. And, you're tired of the arguments. I shouldn't have to plead my humanity to anyone else. And you get tired of doing that. But, all these things that people say, it's just a roundabout way to talk about how much they hate Black people. And, it's just exhausting. I love being Black. Being Black is not hard, racism is what is exhausting what we have to deal with. So
Yeah.
thank you for being an ally and advocate and standing up for what's good and right. And if you lose those Twitter followers, you know, they were terrible people anyway, because
Exactly.
you're a racist, you're a terrible person. So there is no redeeming quality about that. So thank you for being an advocate. And Willie, man, what are you over there thinking as a Black man in America? How do you feel about the justice that is often so rare being dispensed today?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you to Brittany for that, and understand this, that any person that drops off your following list, that's fine. That there's a reason why they're a follower.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you for that. Rachel, for me, can I be 100% transparent?
Real, raw, and uncut. Give it to us.
Okay, so let me say this. I want to send my prayers, heartfelt prayers and condolences out to the Floyd family, all those that are affected and connected with him. I also want to say my heartfelt prayers for Derek Chauvin, because his life, as we know it, is going to be forever altered. And as Christians, or as a Christian, I am obligated to do that. I may not like it. I may not want to say it. I may not even want to feel it, but I have to. So there's that. Now, from the surface part of it, 460 some odd years of captivity, one verdict is not going to really make a huge dent in terms of what we've had to go through. So let's look to the future. Okay. Let's look to the future in unity. And I appeal to everyone's humanity. And I'm a person, I don't give a rat's rear what color you are, what gender you are, what educational level you have or don't have. I am not that person. I am going to appeal to your humanity and understand that at the flip of a coin, this could have been you or somebody that you love that was in George Floyd. I called him Uncle George, even though I was older than he is when he passed. It could have been you or one of your loved ones with the knee on the neck like George Floyd was. So I don't care what color you are, but I do care that you are a human. Now, my whole calling regarding this is one to unite. And it is my prayer that we move forward in some sort of unity. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be going live after this show, Rachel, because I got something to say. And that's just where it is for me at this point.
So you asking me to be mature?
I'm asking you to do the right thing.
That's a tall order, sir.
I know that, but if it were easy, if it were easy, we all could do it. Now, everybody can't do it, because a lot of people out there, as you said, they're going to be who they are, and I'm not appealing to them, because they're going to be who they are no matter what. I'm talking about those of us out here that want to do the right thing, want to be the right thing, want to live by the golden rule, and not really be sidetracked and distracted and get off the mark. Because at the end of the day, we ain't really against each other. I mean, we're not really against each other. We all should have one final goal in mind, and I know what mine is. And where I'm trying to get does not allow for any of the things that may try to creep into my mind, creep into my heart, and creep into anything else. So that's the appeal that I'm making to humans.
Okay. I can work on being mature, because I'm not. So that's going to be a work in progress. But, it's one little step. Like you said, after 400 years, it's been difficult to get any type of justice. So this is just one little mark on a long yardstick. And, we'll see what happens next. The Dante Wright issue is taking place. And, we'll see what happens next in Minnesota, because Philando Castile was killed there. Justine Diamond got justice, for an accident, well, a true accident. So we'll see what happens next. But, hey, guys, before we get into our break really quickly, let's talk a little bit about the Indians. So Cleveland Indians tonight, they're going to be playing Chicago tonight. And one of the things, they're going to be playing Chicago tonight at home. So they're facing Carlos Rendon. And what happened with Carlos Rendon was there was a no-hitter. So Cleveland Indians made history. So one of the concerns I have, I pointed out last week, is that might not be the only no-hitter that the Indians, are a victim of this season. So, that's kind of scary to me. So hopefully they can find some way to break through and actually get a hit tonight. That for me is actually some progress, just getting a hit against this pitcher. Right now, is it officially time to start panicking about what the Indians are doing? I know it's so early in the season, I know, but just the inability to be able to hit the ball is something that this team is struggling with. Zach Plesac hasn't looked the best. So is that starting pitching a little bit of a concern? Brittany, I'll let you take it first.
So I'm going to be candid here and say that I don't really pay attention that much to the Indians, except every fifth day I watch Tristan McKenzie because I love him. So I will watch when Tristan pitches, I will watch, and that's my only exception. And it's just because I'm a big baby when it comes to baseball. Like I used to live and breathe Cleveland Indians baseball. That was the love of my life, all through my childhood into my young adult years. And then slowly I feel like the ownership sort of started chipping away at that. Mm-hmm. But, I have watched enough this year, and it's hard to escape from all the social media and stuff. You see how they're doing every day. So I little bit pay attention. And I was talking to my boyfriend the other day, and I said, it was like a 1-0 ball game, 2-1 ball game. It just seemed like that was becoming a pattern. I said, I like hitting. That's what I like. That's what I've always loved about baseball is offense. I like big bats. Mm-hmm. So these pitchers duels that I just cannot get into, they put me to sleep. I can't get excited for it. And I said, it seems like there's going to be a lot of pitchers duels this season. And, which is great for people like him, because he was like, oh, I love pitchers. I could watch pitchers duels all day. Watching two pitchers go at it, that's great for me. And I said, man, you're on your own with this one, buddy. I cannot do it. But, I think that the thing with the Indians is that they continuously put out good product when it comes to pitching. They are just a pitching farm system. And it's stunning to watch them do this year after year. You would just hope that at some point they would be able to build an offense that can help that pitching. And, I think right now the team batting average is 209. So I don't think it's necessarily time to press the panic button on it, but you might want to settle in and sort of get used to this and start really appreciating pitchers duels this year, I think.
Yeah, Willie, I'm going to ask you to hold your thought because we got to go to break really quickly. We're going to be right back. You are listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back. All right. 2 minutes of commercial. 2 minutes of commercials, guys.
Cool.
I'm going to go grab a drink.
Get a snack, whatever.
Oh my gosh, Rachel, somebody just tweeted me this. It says China is launching an app to allow citizens to report other citizens for having the wrong opinion.
95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports, and I am here with my special guest today. I do have Will Epting from the Shake Back Sports Show, and I have Brittany Mollis from What B Said podcast. So just coming back from a quick break, and we were talking about the Cleveland Indians, and one of the things that Brittany had said was that she loves pictures duels. And one of the things is that there are going to be pitchers duels because the Indians can't hit. So that is exclusively the reason why we are going to see more of those. And I like seeing those in the playoffs. I don't like seeing those in the regular season because, in the playoffs, it's all about pitching and you want to, limit the hits as possible. The issue is that all these pitchers are limiting the Indians' hits before we even get to playoffs, if we make it to playoffs. So I am kind of, hitting the panic button a little bit because I have anxiety and I just don't like what is being forecasted and shadowed. And I know that Tito's teams start off very slow, but a no-hitter in just like not even a 1 month period, I struggle with that. It's very hard for me to take, and it's just unacceptable. I'm not with it. Hey, Will, are you back yet? You here with me, Willie?
Yes.
Willie stepped up. Okay, Willie. So we were just talking about that. So wanted to get your opinion. Sorry, we had to take that commercial break. Wanted to get your opinion about that, though. About was you were when I asked was it time to panic, you were shaking your head emphatically. I'll let Brittany go first, but I want to hear why it's not time to panic, because I personally need to be talked off the ledge. It happens every week, and all my co-hosts have to talk me off. So help me get my anxiety down about what's going to take place with this team. And I know it's a long season. I know this. I don't care about that. When you got anxiety, what's next? What's next? I need another win.
Okay.
I need that.
So let me help you out with this real quick. Since you know that this is going to happen, you already have the knowledge of what is going to take place. So there's nothing to be anxious about.
I don't want it to happen like that, though.
But you can't control it. So you might as well just be a fan and enjoy it. You got to take the good with the bad. Now, what are we, 17 games in? Something like that?
Yeah. And already had a no-hitter.
Yeah, okay. That's bound to happen, whether it's game 12 or game
17 games in, no.
Okay, but we know that at the beginning of the year, the pitchers always have the advantage. We know that. Baseball aficionados, I appeal to you. In the playoffs, pitchers have the advantage. That's why they used to always say great pitching will always beat great hitting. I'm trying to talk you off the ledge, sis. I promise you. I am.
I know. Sorry. I got a bad attitude. I'm sorry.
Maybe you need to go back to that point. So, yeah, in regard to Mr. Rondon, look, I picked the Chicago White Sox to win that division.
You did?
Yes, I did.
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Why are you picking against the Cleveland Indians?
Well, I have to.
That's unacceptable.
I have to pick with my my mind and not my heart. Now, my co-host on the hashtag Brothers of Baseball show, Natalie Turk. I created a segment for her, for you, because she told me about you. Hashtag Nats Chat. And that is where she talks all Indian fans off the ledge. So I'm gonna appeal to all you guys on her behalf in this show. It's early. Okay, you have one of the best pitching staffs in all of the majors, by far one of the top 2 or 3 in the American League. Okay, they're going to round in the form. Okay, Ramirez is going to get the ship righted. Now, I know with Lindor being gone and Brantley not being there and everybody else that's gone, he may not have the protection in that lineup that he once had. But what he is that guy that he could do the same thing for those other young players in that lineup. Luplow is having a pretty good year so far. So don't be so concerned about the pitching at this point. Now, the hitting is going to be what it is. And you're not going to win today's baseball games, 3-2, 4-1. You're not going to win those types of games in this day and age of baseball as consistently as you used to. And I heard Brittany say earlier how she used to love the back in the day. She can't.
Yeah.
You can't get with the pitchers duel. Look, one of the best pitching matchups I saw was in the 1991 World Series. Jack Morris and John Smoltz. They both went the distance in Game 7 of the World Series, and it went to extra innings, and they both went 9 innings. While I understand it, I don't necessarily condone it. But back to your question about Indians fans. Look, you guys are in second place as of right now. Hold your head on the fact that your rotation is what it is. I don't know what your bullpen is looking like. I know what your offense is kind of anemic right now, up and down, 5 home runs in one game and then no hit another game. Okay. It's going to be okay.
She is not convinced.
I don't like that. I don't like it. Yeah, we ain't even gonna get started on ownership because right now I'm ready to just do a GoFundMe and try to see who's gonna try to buy this team because I'm just over the Dolans. And I wish, that Dick Jacobs owned the team again, but that's a no can do. But I think that, this team can really make some strides and have some quality signings once they get rid of this ownership who doesn't want to do anything. Right now, we have the lowest payroll in baseball, and it shows. We are not the Tampa Bay Rays where we have the lowest payroll and can go to the World Series. It just sucks. So I think it starts at the top. This culture of saving is just not really working out. So I'm just really over the Dolans and, we are just going to see. And I know it's at the very beginning, but I feel like, the past kind of foreshadows the beginning. And I'm just not liking what I'm seeing. And, I kind of gave up already.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm with Rachel. We're on team give up. Hashtag.
I mean, it's like I gotta watch, but
there's 150 games left in this season.
Yeah, and I probably watch all 150, but not enthusiastically. Like I can't turn on TV like, okay, we're gonna win. Like I can't do that for sure. You're like, okay, this is a win for us. Okay, like, so I can't do that for sure.
Let me. I know this is your show, but I have to ask this question.
You can ask whatever you want to.
Brittany and Rachel, would you rather be in the position that you're in now, or would you rather be where the Yankees are?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they're terrible.
Okay.
What are they, like 5-10 or something? They're something real bad.
They have Judge, they have Stanton, they have LeMahieu, they have Torres, they have Sanchez in their lineup, and they can't hit.
But they will.
I was just about to say that. I feel like a team like that can turn it around.
Yes.
For the Indians, it might not happen.
But what did I say at the beginning, though? Great pitching will always beat great hitting. And then the Yankees, they can't stay healthy. You can rest assured that somebody's going to get hurt and going to be out for a while. As a matter of fact, Sanchez is out now. I'm just trying to throw y'all a lifeline, for real.
This is like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Okay, that's fair. I get it. But like Brittany said, I feel like a team like, the Yankees can turn it around, where I'm not so sure about the Indians. But, it is what it is. We have to see how things play out, but I'm still going to criticize them. That's just going to be the way it's going to be. And, one thing we talked about was, Terry Francona, will he be able to stay healthy? He is known for having a lot of health issues. Will Sandy Alomar, have to manage the team again? What changes will come with that? But I guess only time will tell, right?
Time tells all.
Yeah. So let's move on. One of the things I was talking about was the Cleveland Cavaliers. And, last night, pretty much the same thing happened. We lost. So that's nothing new. Had a substantial lead and then ended up losing the game. Where we're at right now with this team, what are you guys' thoughts as we have 1 month left in the season? What do you guys think about the Cavs and what does this team need to do to put itself in a position to succeed in the future? Now, they have a young nucleus that Jim Jones is really happy about. He's happy about Isaac Okoro, he's happy about Darius Garland, and he's happy about Colin Sexton. But after that, it just doesn't really seem like much contribution. Kevin Love just needs to go ahead and retire at this point. So not really excited about, well, I mean, they're a losing team. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But this future, the way that this team has operated, the draft strategy hasn't worked. I tell people, the basketball guys gave us 3 number 1 draft picks in 4 years. So I think we were out of favors with the basketball guys. And they're like, you just got to figure it out. I know that, even we're not getting high draft pick at all in the lottery. So I think you can just kind of give them that. What are you guys' thoughts about what this team needs to do to break through and, not necessarily experience success, but put themselves in a position to be successful? How do you guys feel like that needs to be done?
First of all, I think they got to tank the rest of the year. Step 1. There's this, what is it, Fade for Cade that's going around. Yeah. But no, like for 2 years now, I have been sort of like championing the Cavs and getting people on board for the rebuild. And that's been my mission with fans because, after LeBron left, it sort of left this hole in our hearts and it needed to be filled. So I was like, all right, let's get excited for Colin Sexton. Let's get excited for Darius Garland. Let's, get on board with the plan that they have. And then there's stretches that the Cleveland Cavs have where honestly, it might be some of the worst basketball I've ever seen in my life. So you look at that and you're like, oh boy. But then they'll have really good nights. Darius Garland's been doing really well. Claxton's had a pretty good year. You got Nance, who's a part of the plan, Jarrett Allen. So they have these good pieces. It's just a matter of getting them to work together. And, I thought that at the beginning of the season, I said, okay, like maybe in 2 to 3 years, like the Cavs could potentially be back in some sort of, playoff, maybe. And now it's looking like they still need a good draft pick. I would love to see them in the top 5 this year. And as a fan, I was like, oh no, I want to see them make the playoffs. I always want my team to make the playoffs, of course. Right. But you looked at logistically and for planning for the future, and I think I can't have my cake and eat it too. So I finally, I'm waving the white flag and saying, all right, guys, it's time to step back a little bit and just let the tank take over.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to take another break really quickly. Well, it's time to come to you. We got to take a break. Sorry about that. So, because I'm switching topics midway instead of the full 15 minutes. So we're going to take a quick break, and you're listening to Her in a Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back. Mm-hmm. All right, welcome back to Her in a Huddle on WOVU and 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill. Make sure you can always give us a call at 216-271-0959. You can listen to us online at WOVU.org. And you can also download the WOVU app so you can take us with you on the go, and you can listen to your favorite personalities like myself all the time, all day long. So I am here, and my special guest today, I have Will Epstein from the Shake Back Sports Show co-hosted with me, and I also have Brittany Mollis from What B Said podcast. So super excited to have these wonderful people on with me today. Now, Willie, we just had left off about the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I need you to talk me off the ledge for this one too, but I already have 1 foot off because, this is the end of the season. There's only 1 month left, and it's looking bad. Like Brittany said, our hopes now are always tied to the draft. When LeBron was here, it didn't matter about draft picks. We never really had any, and we really didn't need them, and they weren't going to be good anyway. But now we are in the position that we need the draft picks, and we can't get them. But like I said, the basketball gods gifted us, some miracle blessings in order for us to be able to win that title. So I think we're tapped out. So we kind of got to do this on our own. What are your thoughts about what the Cavs need to do in order to succeed, if it's possible?
Oh man, this talking you off the ledge on this one, Rach. It's going to be a little bit more difficult, and but I'll do my best because
I got 1 foot off. I got one foot off. Well, you can't see, but I got 1 foot in the air, off of my chair.
I hate to see people in pain, so I'm like this with the Cavs. There's only 2 players on the team that are above 6'10". That's a problem. This is basketball. Like the lady said in Coach Carter, this is basketball, man. Mm-hmm. So yeah. And Jared Allen out of Texas, he's good, he's decent. But this other kid, Isaiah Hartenstein, I don't know anything about him. So I'm gonna bypass him. But here's what I think this should happen. Outside of LeBron James coming back or LeBron James Jr., Bronny James coming to the team, I think they need to somewhat build around Darius Garland and or Colin Sexton but I have an issue with both of those guys because they're undersized, and it's like they drafted the same player 2 years in a row. So I don't know. Maybe they're going to move one of them. I have no idea. Kevin Love, we've seen his best years. Obviously, he's 32 years old. He's coming off a myriad of injuries. I think for the Cavs, they're going to have to do one of 2 things. Like Brittany said, they're going to have to tank and get maybe like a Kyrie Irving.
I don't think they're trying. They just are that bad. They don't even have to try to tank.
Right, but but these are the answers.
Yeah, right.
These are the answers. They're going to either have to tank like they did to get Kyrie Irving, or they're going to have to score a big time free agent to draw other free agents there. And outside of LeBron James and Dwayne Wade, when he was obviously on his last couple of toes playing, what big time free agent is gonna want to go to Cleveland without another big time free agent already there?
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I can't.
They have to do draft.
I can't think of one player willing to do that.
No.
Well, in that case, then here, let me tie a rope around you, and maybe it'll.
Well, I ain't trying to hang myself. I just want to be talked off the ledge, Well, maybe, at the end of the day, I'm gonna have second thoughts. Like it ain't worth it.
Well, maybe maybe we can turn this into a bungee jumping adventure.
No, I'm too scared to do that. I'm too scared. I'm too scared to bungee jump. So yeah. Well, LeBron is not coming back, so that's one thing that we have to get used to. And we always have hope, like in what was that movie Dumb and Dumber, where he's like, is there a chance? And we always think there's a chance, but there's no chance. LeBron, if he does come back, it probably will be his last day in the league, and he'll retire as a Cleveland Cavalier, sign a 1-day contract. I firmly believe he'd rather retire as a Cleveland Cavalier above all else. But it's not happening. Is Bronny James Jr. even as good as his dad? I don't know about that. And he gotta leave the ganja alone. It's 420. Happy 420.
He's like the 50th best player in his class in the United States.
He is.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Well, I mean, who his dad is sad. Michael Jordan's kid sucked. But like it is what I'm expecting. And condolences to Scottie Pippen. He lost his son just yesterday, I believe. He posted a message on Instagram about that. So truly sad to hear about that. Son was 33 years old, and his first child. So super sad. So wishing his family the best, and our thoughts and prayers and stuff like that. But let's move on to the Cleveland Browns. And I know, Brittany, the Browns is your team, correct?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So right now, one of the things that happened, we wasn't on air when Sheldon Richardson was released. And Sheldon Richardson was one of those glue guys in that locker room and, had been an impact player for us. So, that move came very surprising that, he was cut. I believe he made about he was on course to make $13 million a year. So, we're kind of not used to this team cutting people who are going to make money. So we're kind of used to them kind of throwing money at people. We have a lot of money, with this salary cap. So let's start with you, Brittany. What are your thoughts about the loss of Sheldon Richardson and how it's going to impact that team? And, I don't really think that we could afford to lose people in the defense because we could not stop Chad Henne. Thoughts about that move?
So, like everyone else, I was shocked when that happened. I absolutely was not expecting them to cut ties with him. There have been recent rumblings that they may try to restructure his deal and bring him back, which I think, to me, that would be ideal. It really hurts to lose a piece like that, especially, you looked at their defense last year. Anyone that shined at all, you got to try to cling to them and hold on to them and bring them back. So, to lose someone like that, it didn't seem, let me say this, it doesn't seem like a good move yet. Now, as a strong Andrew Berry advocate, I trust that he knows what he's doing. I fully trust that him and the people around him have a plan in place to either replace him in a way that fits, the defense. And what I mean by that is they might be trying to re-envision what the defense looks like. So, they might be, going more like defensive end heavy, using compensating in different ways on the defense. So if that's what they're doing, okay. I would be totally happy if they brought him back, though, and restructured his deal so that, it fits in better with the payroll. That would be cool. But I'm not worried. I'm not panicking yet about that one.
You're not?
I'm not. No.
I am. I panic a lot. But Kevin Stefanski spoke about, hoping that Sheldon Richardson could possibly return, because you hate seeing guys leave that have been instrumental in the turnaround of this organization, past playoff experience. So, they become fan favorites, and they say as fans, we don't want to lose them. But, outside of looking like that, this was a glue guy for you. This is a defensive guy. So, these things are kind of important, as the defense was an issue for us last year, became an issue in a playoff game for us. So you need people like that who are willing to get the job done and make plays. And it's just, you hate to see a veteran who has been here when this team has been trashed to experiencing the turnaround. And he's, one of the biggest names on the team to go. So, not a fan of that. But, possibly he could return. If the head coach is like, I want this guy to return, I think that there's going to be a way that they can make it happen. And, maybe they give him a contract, where it's incentive laden or something like that, possibly. Willie, what are your thoughts about the loss of this player?
Yeah, anytime you lose a player of that caliber, not just on the field, but what he is in the locker room, a veteran presence that the younger guys could look up to, it's going to be tough. Now, I'm not in Cleveland like you guys are. I'm in Dallas, of course. So I'm looking at it from the outside looking in. I would think that if there's an opportunity for the team to bring him back, and Andrew Berry has done a pretty good job with fielding that team. It's a really good product on the field that you guys have. And I'm proud to say that the Browns are, I'm not going to say they're, Yeah, they're back. They're back. So get off the ledge, okay? Get off.
We
the
beat
ledge.
your team, so you know we back.
Hold up, y'all didn't beat my team.
Yeah, we did.
My team.
We whooped the Cowboys.
No, my team is the Raiders.
Okay, you know what? That was a fluke that we lost to y'all. So yeah, I forgot about that. And Brittany, he's a Michigan fan too. I almost didn't tell you that, but you know that's a whole nother hot mess going on over there. Yeah. But yeah, we almost beat the Raiders. We shouldn't have never lost to them. That was just a fluke. Okay. Whatever. But
you want me to answer the question now?
Sorry. Sorry, I got distracted.
And one other note, almost only counts in hand grenades and horseshoes. Okay, so yeah, but I like y'all's team. I really do. And I hope that I wish they'd have beat Kansas City because I hate them, number one. And then number two, it's good for the league when the Browns and the Raiders and you know the Dolphins, they're all good. Yeah. And in terms of Sheldon Richardson,
Dolphins.
Yeah, the Dolphins have a program. I mean, they haven't been good in a long time. You remember that? You know, they are the only team to ever go undefeated, right?
Yeah, I know, but
okay, so I think if they can bring Sheldon back on an incentive-laden deal, like you said, Rach, it'll be a win-win for both. And that team is going to have a target on his back because nobody's going to really, or people are going to expect them to be better. So a guy like Sheldon Richardson in the locker room with the expectations that are going to be placed upon that team will be huge.
Yeah, I think so too. And, you know, Jim Rome says that the Browns are America's team now, no longer the Cowboys. So that's pretty big. Yeah, he like Jim Rome be standing for the Cleveland Browns. Like it was crazy, you know, this past season. All he did was talk about us. You know, they had a couple, you know, players on this show. So, you know, I think, like you said, it's very good for the NFL, for the Browns to be winning because the NFL wants to put us on TV. I forgot what interview I was listening to, but like the networks are clamoring for Browns games and they want the Browns on because it's a huge ratings draw. So I'm like, you know, going into this season, I think it'll be even bigger again. And, you know, if we can produce some quality wins, because we definitely have a tougher schedule, you know, playing the NFC North, if we can, you know, produce some quality wins, you know, the sky is the limit. But, you know, hopefully they can bring him back as a key component of the defense because this defense is struggling. We should have beat the Kansas City Chiefs. We talked about this. Once Patrick Mahomes, you know, went out of the game, there's just no excuse. But not having a quality defense, you know, is an issue, and they've been building the defense. So that's definitely a great thing. And, you know, it's just going to be interesting to see what happens. Who knows? But, you know, maybe they can get him back because you just need quality people like that who are invested in this team and invested in their success. And, you know, it's like you kind of, you know, hate the fact that Joe Thomas retired when he did, you know, because it's like, you know, somebody like him who, you know, spent his first year here, they made the playoffs. And then after that, they were terrible.
What school did he go to?
Wisconsin.
I don't like his school.
What school did he go to, Brittany?
Wisconsin. Joe Thomas?
Didn't he go to Michigan?
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he went to Wisconsin.
Of course not.
Yeah, he went to Wisconsin. I mean, you know, we got Donovan Peoples-Jones on our team and stuff like that. We traded Julius Peppers. So, not Julius Peppers. What was his name? Peppers. What was Peppers' first name?
Jabril.
Jabril. Thank you. Yeah. We traded him. You know, we don't keep those Michigan people around very long.
Remember Braylon?
Yeah.
Braylon Edwards?
I love Braylon.
You did? Oh my God,
I did.
His attitude was terrible.
Oh, I loved him.
My dad used to call him a flashy Detroit receiver because he said all the, you know, little flashy receivers would come from Detroit, and that's what he would call Braylon Edwards. But you know, it was crazy to me because Braylon Edwards would make the circus catch, but he wouldn't make the 3rd and 2 catch, and that was one of the things that, you know, I couldn't stand about him, is that when you needed him to get those critical yards, you know, he couldn't, but, you know, he got the garbage yards for you. And I'm just like, you know, but we need to convert this. And, you know, him paired with Kellen Winslow Jr., and we know where Kellen is at right now. So that's a whole cluster. But we're going to go ahead and take our last break. We are headed into the home stretch, and you are listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We will be right back. All right, welcome back to Her and the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. It's your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports, and I am here with my special guest today, Brittany Mollis from What B Said, and Willie Epteen Jr. from the Shake Back Sports Show. So super excited to have them here today on their home stretch. So one of the things that we wanted to talk about was the progression of women in football, actually having jobs with the teams that are not just secretaries and things like that and administrative assistants. So not too long ago, earlier this month, Washington Football Club hired the first Latina coordinator of football programs. So Natalia Durantes is to serve as a coordinator of football programs, making her the first Latina to do this job, and she will be the third woman to have this job. So what she'll be doing is she'll work closely with and coordinate schedules across various departments within the team, from medical to scouting, and she will work closely with Washington football team coach Ron Rivera. So Callie Bronson is the Cleveland Browns chief of staff. Whoop, whoop. And Sarah Hogan is Atlanta Falcons coordinator of head coach operations. And they are the other women in similar roles. So Brittany, we're going to take you first. I know your love of football. What are your thoughts about, women being in these powerful positions? And also Tampa Bay has a very diversified staff as well. So shout them out. And hopefully this can continue to be a trend. But what are your thoughts? The first Latina, this is huge.
I can't wait until they start becoming head coaches. That's I hope I see that in my lifetime. And we had Callie on our show about a month ago.
Okay.
It was to kick off International Women's Month. So we talked to her about her journey to the NFL, and she was such an interesting and compelling person that the first thing she said when we got the call with her was, she's 100% going to be a head coach in the NFL one day. Okay. The fact that the NFL is finally bringing in women to do all this, I think it's overdue, but I'm glad they're doing it, because I think, as little girls, we didn't get to see any of stuff. But now you're having a whole new generation of girls that see this on Sundays, and they're like, I can do that one day. And I can't stress the importance of this. It's so important to get more women involved in every aspect of sports, whether it's sports media, coaching, playing, doing all of it, because they can and they should be. And the more that take the center stage and show little girls that this can be done, I think the better we are as a society.
Did you tell Callie that you know of a couple people who would love to be on her coaching staff when she becomes head coach? That are women. Did you put a plug in for yourself?
I probably should have. I was so starstruck. I'm telling you, she was just such an amazing human being that I think I have a crush on her, to be honest, and I can't shake it. But no, I did not say that.
But I need you to be plotting as well your next moves.
Always scheming.
Yeah, I mean, it's not scheming. Everybody is opportunistic, but you put that bug in her ear, hey, I know of some viable, coaching potential candidates that can be on your staff in the future when you get there.
Listen, Rachel, I'm gonna slide in her DMs and be like, hire Rachel Hill.
Thank you. Exactly. See, that's what I'm talking about. That building that connection. Because I'm gonna ask you. Okay, I need to interview her. I don't feel like going through the Browns to do it. Hook a sister up. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So you already know where I was going with the angle. Thank you. I appreciate that. Willie, what say you?
Well, look at it like this: if they slam the door on you in the front, go around the back and climb in the window. And that is look, that is what I'm so proud of my sisters out there that are doing to get into these positions. And they're well deserved. The NFL used to stand for not for long. And you could take that many different ways. Not for long that players were going to be in the league or not going to be in the league. But now it's not for long when you see women making these tremendous strides in these powerful positions of authority. And it's about time. It's about time. And coordinators, position coaches, front office people, even with Washington football, the Washington football team, the capital of the most diversified country in the world, that is coming off the heels of these sexist scandals, to pull this is a public relations diamond found. I mean, it is A1, and they're turning the corner as far as turning the corner around on the enigmatic and embattled owner, Mr. Snyder. So yeah, hey, they're doing the right thing and they're putting the right people in the right places.
He needs some good PR right about now.
He's getting it.
So yeah, just, super proud as a woman, to see other women, make strides, because that opens the door for other women. So, you get tired of hearing this is the first one. And hopefully maybe that won't have to be said when we introduce people and talk about certain topics. So we got about 5 minutes left. I wanted to touch about the U.S. men's soccer team. So one of the things that, they've been very vocal about, especially Megan Rapinoe, and is that about the equal pay. And one of the things is the U.S. men's team, they have failed to make the Olympics. They failed to make the World Cup. And that's not the first time they failed to make the World Cup, but they failed to make the World Cup. And the women's team are Olympic champions. They have won the World Cup. And while we're on the topic of women, what is up with that? What will it take for a team that outperforms its male counterparts in every way to be able to get the money that they deserve? I don't understand why this is an issue right now at this point, especially in comparison to these teams where the men have done nothing and they've just coasted by. And at this point, they go out to play and they're not playing for anything. But the women are constantly on the world stage, winning, being an example to the world about women's soccer, and they can't get any money for it.
Unbelievable.
It's bad. I admit that I'm not a big soccer person.
I
have watched the men's and women's USA teams. And just as from an entertainment standpoint, the women's games are more fun. Like they just are. I can't fathom how anyone could justify the inequality in the pay here. I'm out of ideas for that, Rachel. I have no idea.
They're the best in the world, quite honestly.
Yes, and they're fun to watch. I will actually watch women's soccer, which says a lot.
And the U.S. men's team can't even make the World Cup. I think it's 32 teams that play in the World Cup. They can't even make that. Oof. And they didn't qualify to make the Olympic team.
That's
like
terrible.
The Olympic.
That's bad.
And they make all this money compared to the women. I'm just sick of it. So 3 minutes left. Really quickly, right now, the Olympics possibly could be canceled. Japan is saying that they might be open to it depending on how this pandemic goes. What are you guys' thoughts about that? And also, one of the things is Biden is consulting with other allies about a joint effort to address the human rights abuses in China before the Beijing Winter Olympics begin. First of all, my thoughts about that is this country doesn't need to be addressing human rights issues with any other countries compared to how they, treat their citizens. And with the Derek Chauvin trial sparked a worldwide, whatever, come to Jesus reckoning. I don't know why it sparked this, because it's been going on all along, with Black Lives Matter and all that other stuff. But I really don't think it's our place to get in there about human rights abuses. Really quickly, what are your thoughts about that and the possible cancellation of the Olympics Games? It's this year, right? Or next year? This year. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's this year. Thoughts about that really quickly, 2 minutes.
It ain't going to happen. It's too much money involved.
yeah. And the prep, too.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Brittany?
No, I 100% back you up on that. Who are we to to preach about human rights as country and shake our fingers at other people, like, you know. And like Willie said, everything comes back to money. If there's money to be made, it probably is not going to happen.
Yeah, and I can't imagine them, canceling, again. And these athletes have worked so hard and then had to work an extra year. So that's just something that is very unfortunate. Brittany, please tell people how they can get at you.
Yeah, so you can follow me on Twitter at Bird's Eye View. It's BURDSIVUE. We have podcasts. That's what B said. It's on Spotify, Apple, whatever you listen to. And I also contribute for Heavy, so you can follow them.
Awesome. And Willie, how can people get at you?
On Twitter at Shakeback Show, on Instagram at Shakeback Sports 1. Also, the BGC Sports Network. You can hear the hashtag Brothers of Baseball 12s and 6s Central Time all around the clock. Shakeback Sports Show on 12s and 6s Saturday and Sunday. Getting ready to launch a myriad of new things. I'm about to rebrand, so stay tuned for that. Very excited.
All right. And I want to thank you guys so much for getting in the huddle with me and joining her in the huddle today. You can always get at me at 1ST Lady of Sports on Instagram, Twitter, and Rachel L. Hill at Facebook.com. So you have been listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM.